All right, forget your typical book summary. Today, we're strapping in for a high G mental workout. We are distilling the absolute core philosophy of David Goggins from his book, Never Finished. So get ready to completely redefine what you think is even possible. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Goggins tells you himself, right from the jump, forget the 7 easy steps and all that fluff. This is a boot camp for your brain. It's designed to absolutely shatter the limits that you, and let's be honest, society have put on what you can do. It's a wake-up call, plain and simple. And it all starts with a fundamental shift in how we see possibility itself. So the first pillar of the Goggins mindset, it's built on something way more rugged than just hope. It is all about forging an unbreakable belief. And to really get this, we need to talk about some lab rats. Okay, so get this. In a pretty famous experiment, a scientist named Kurt Richter put rats in these big cylinders of water. The first group, they saw no way out, swam for maybe 15 minutes, and then just gave up and drowned. But the second group, Richter saved them right before they gave up. He dried them off, let them recover, and then put them back in. This time, they swam for an average of 60 hours. 60. Now, most people look at that and they see the power of hope. But Goggins, he has a totally different take. He basically calls bullshit. Hope, he says, is soft, it's fluffy, it's a fleeting emotion. What those rats developed was something harder, something they earned. Belief. Belief is a muscle you develop. See, they didn't hope for a rescue. They believed they could survive because they'd already done it once before. So this whole process is absolutely crucial. You face a situation that seems totally hopeless. Then you survive it. You get that save. That one single experience starts to rewire your brain. It plants this little seed of belief that just gets stronger and stronger with every new challenge. And eventually, it lets you do what once seemed totally impossible. You become the rat that just refuses to die. But to forge that kind of belief, you need some powerful fuel. So the question is, where in the world do you find it? For Goggins, the main source of fuel isn't some inspirational poster on the wall. It's the darkest, ugliest parts of your own story. You don't run from your past. You turn it into a weapon. You know, for years, Goggins blamed all his failures on his past. He kept telling himself, it's not my fault. But then, this new voice started to creep in, one that started asking if he was maybe just making excuses. So to find the real truth, he actually drove to see the father he hadn't spoken to in 12 years. He had to confront the source of all his trauma. And he was even wondering if those painful memories that defined him were, even true. And this moment right here. This is the moment of reckoning. He's sitting in the filthy office of his dad's old skating rink, Skateland, and he starts thinking his old man has gone soft, that maybe he just misremembered everything, and then the music started upstairs. That thumping bass triggered a full-on sensory relapse. The fear, the helplessness, it all came flooding back. It was real. There was no denying it anymore. And that's the whole point. So many of us are just trapped by our past, right? We tell the same tragic story over and over. Goggins argues you have to accept the full truth, the good, the bad, all of it. Because once you completely own it, it can't haunt you anymore. Instead, it becomes a fuel that proves to you that you can survive absolutely anything. Okay, so you've got your fuel, now you need the engine. And for Goggins, that engine is one thing and one thing only: relentless, unwavering discipline. So after escaping his abusive father, Goggins and his mom land on the doorstep of his grandfather, Sergeant Jack. Now, Sergeant Jack wasn't some warm, fuzzy grandpa. He was a squared-away military man, kind of like a Mr. Miyagi, who was about to teach Goggins the most important lessons of his life through a bunch of thankless, grueling chores. And just look at this list. This was not about teaching him a trade. This was about forging a mindset. Every single day, it was a thankless, grueling grind. This wasn't punishment. It was training. It was designed to build a capacity for work when no one is watching and when there is zero reward in sight. And this is where that lesson really clicks into place. For Goggins, discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't care about your background, your natural talent, or what disadvantages you have. In a world that is obsessed with efficiency and finding the easy way out, pure, relentless effort, it becomes a superpower. It allows you to surpass people who were born with more simply by outworking them every single day. So this brings us to the final, all-encompassing idea. Belief that's been forged through trials, fueled by your past, and driven by discipline, it all leads to one state of being, understanding that the job is never, ever finished. Goggins brings up this idea after he has a sudden, terrifying hard scare in the middle of the night. His point? Life will always hit you with a surprise gift, a pothole on a road you just paved. You can't expect things to just get easy. You have to be in a constant state of readiness for the inevitable hardship that's coming. The goal then is to cultivate what he calls a savage mind. And what does that even mean? It's not about aggression. It's about having a will that cannot be tamed. It's a state of being where you just defy the odds and have this unbreakable spirit of resilience. You always, always get back up. But here is the most important takeaway of the whole thing. This savage mind isn't some trophy you win and then just put on a shelf. Mental toughness fades if you don't use it. The calluses on your mind will soften if you stop grabbing the iron. You are either getting better or you're getting worse. There is no such thing as staying the same. Complacency is the enemy. And that leaves us with this final echoing question. Goggins' life is just a series of evolutions, from a scared, broken kid to a Navy SEAL to an ultramarathoner to a smoke jumper. He is always looking for the next challenge to keep his mind hard. So the question isn't just for him, it's for all of us. The work is never done. What's your next evolution?